Hi, team. This is George. As we're jumping into week two, I first want to say great discussions in week one. I appreciate the role playing and how everybody's kind of jumped in and had a good time with the discussions too. I hope it was meaningful as well. And this week, we are jumping into some pretty good stuff in our Kirkpatrick book. We're going to look at an overview of the model. I want to pay special close attention to developing an effective strategy because to me, that's the biggest reason why we even create it's not the strategy is not the reason, but the strategies that we come up with are linked to the reasons why we need to come up with the assessment. So they're hugely important. And then we're going to jump into two discussions this week as well. Let's go ahead and jump over there. We're going to do the JetBlue case study this week. I'm going to post a separate announcement on the JetBlue case study, the beginning part, just so we don't overwhelm everyone with videos today. I'm going to probably post that one tomorrow. So the week two, planning and evaluation, that comes straight from our Kirkpatrick book. I would suggest that you looked at a couple of the optional readings as well for this one because they have some good examples there of when people use they planned an evaluation well and did not. And planning the evaluation is important because I want to talk about making it learner-centered. So if, let's say, we have levels 1 through 4, we haven't gone through those yet, but if you build level 1, which is we're going to get into that more next week, but level 1 is our reaction, or as we like to call them, smile sheets. If we make that learner-centered, it looks quite a bit different than if we just make it instructor-centered or content-centered, because it's asking the learner, what are you getting from that? Were you able to apply this? Were you able to do that? So it's getting us more valuable information. So that's why the planning is so important, because in the planning, we want to connect it to what makes our training important, because training isn't important just because it's training. It's important because of the need that's driving the training. So we want to really connect with that and then start thinking about how we can make that focused on the need that's driving the training. What can we do in our planning for our planning and evaluation that meets the need of our customers, clients, and organizations, because that's the key. Training itself, not important. What the needs that training meets, very important. So we want to make sure that we are completely connected with this as we start talking about evaluation and planning. And then we're going to do another discussion on justification of an evaluation. We have our scenarios, both scenarios here. They're the same one. It's a continuation. I'm not going to bore you by reading all the directions. Everyone is able to do that and is kind of up to speed with how we're running this class. So we're going to be role playing again and use this to have some fun with it, but to also dig down deep into our justification of an evaluation and why we need to evaluate, because Dr. Choi may or may not be too excited about the evaluation once they find out what it entails. Because what happens a lot of times is we make evaluations overly difficult, and we want them to be simple, and we want them to be effective, simple and effective. Sometimes we can't get away from making them overly complicated, but that is what we want to attempt to do. We want to keep them simple, and we want to keep them very effective. So in other words, focus on the reason the training is occurring. So with that, I hope everyone has a fantastic week, and I will see you on the discussions.